In the early 20s, the economy in the United States, and most certainly also in Altoona, was fabulous, as for our whole diocese. The steel mills of Johnstown were doing wonderfully well. The shops, the railroad shops, Pennsylvania Railroad, were doing marvelously well. Lumbering, coal mining in our diocese was excellent. There was money. And Bishop said, well, what am I going to do here? I will build two high schools, Altoona Catholic and Johnstown Catholic. Bishop did that. And he added on, there was more money, and he thought, well, I'll add on to the orphanage up in Crescent. The girls had the red brick building, so he built the stone building for the boys. And then he said, there's still money, so what are we going to do? And the diocese was growing, and Bishop had come from, he was the auxiliary bishop of Philadelphia, so he said, Old St. John's is a little bit too small for our diocese, so let us envision a cathedral. What makes a cathedral is the cathedra. You go to any diocese, anywhere in the world, and someone says, do you want to see our cathedral? What makes that cathedral, the cathedral is the bishop's chair, the cathedra. C-A-T-H-E-D-R-A. Just put an L on cathedra, and it's the cathedral that houses the cathedra, okay? We Catholics believe that only a bishop may sit here, really only the diocesan bishop, who is a successor to the 12 apostles. This is very symbolic for us, that when the bishop stands, when the bishop stands at his cathedra, he is the teacher, the guide, the authority for the faith, guiding and leading those of us of this local church of Altoona. Originally the Church of Altoona, that was in 1901. In 1957, Rome redesignated it Altoona-Johnstown. On every cathedra, you're going to have two coat of arms. The coat of arms of that particular diocese. This is Altoona-Johnstown. Altoona is the Blessed Sacrament shown at the top, the Cathedral of the Blessed Sacrament. The bishop's mitre is St. John Galbert Cathedral, Johnstown, because St. John Galbert was a bishop. The three discs are from William Penn, the founder of Pennsylvania, and the big cross is from Prince Gallitzin, who arrived here in 1796 and assigned as pastor in 1799 in Loretto. So this Rome, if we show this in Rome, they know we are the Church of Altoona-Johnstown. On the right side is the coat of arms of the presiding bishop. Bishop Joseph Adamek is our present bishop, so his personal coat of arms, they're connected. You don't have a bishop without a diocese. You don't have a diocese without a bishop. The two go together. So, bishop's coat of arms and his quote, household of God, from one of St. Paul's letters in the New Testament, Ephesians, I believe. So, bishops retire when they're 75. Bishop will be 75. He'll hand in his resignation to Benedict XVI. Benedict will say, thank you so very much. A new bishop will be assigned. This will be popped out, and the new bishop's coat of arms will go. The 8th bishop of the diocese will be assigned. When I give tours like to grade school kids, and Catholic kids, and I ask them, I said, where did the bishop get the money for all this? Like, who built this? Who paid for all this? And I'm the bishop there. And I'm there. Bishop didn't have like a checking account. Where did he get? I said, your grandmas and your grandpaps, your great-grandmas and your great-grandpaps, they're the ones who helped build this. So it's quite a testimony to our faith in this area to have such a magnificent cathedral church. Bishop McCourt built the cathedral and had a very clear notion of what he wanted in the interior. He never was able to finish it. Bishop Carroll is the bishop who finished the interior, and we can see from the blueprints it's quite different from what it was originally meant to look like. But Bishop Carroll wanted to do Eastern Byzantine mosaics in a Western architecture. It's a real neat combination of East and West. Okay. And what we have here is a very Byzantine Greek Jesus. Big eyes, high cheekbones. You got to remember, Jesus was a Palestinian Jew. Mm-hmm. But the early church was Greek. All the New Testament is written in Greek. So we have a very Greek Jesus breaking the bread. I think it's a beautiful combination of the Western architecture with Eastern art. So the communion rail came all along here. And like all churches, there was a iron gate that you would come through into the sanctuary. Well, Bishop Hogan was the bishop who removed the communion rail and brought the altar forward, and this is how they made the anvil. This marble comes from the communion rail that was here, and these two pieces of metal were the iron gates that opened. Oh. And I think they used that quite well. We do have from the original St. John a plaster of Paris statue of the Pietà, the mother, sorrowful mother, holding Jesus as he comes down from the cross. That was always on a pedestal in this chapel in the unfinished cathedral. Bishop McCourt, if he came into the church to pray, would always come here to pray before the image of our Mother of Sorrows. And our little story of Francis Xavier Cabrini is, I tell it like it's the fact. I wasn't around, and they tell me. At the turn of the century, I think even before we were a diocese, Mother Cabrini her houses are in New York City and Chicago. The only way of traveling at the turn of the century was by train. There were no airplanes at the time. Mother Cabrini was coming through on the main line. She was in Altoona, and there was a layover. And the Sisters of Charity ran down and said, "Mother, you have to come up and have some tea and rest with us, because the layover is going to be long." Mother Cabrini came up, and the layover went on and on and on. She spent the night, was here for Mass in the morning, and then whatever the problem was rectified, and she was on her way either east or west to Chicago or New York. So we always love pointing out that this American saint stayed overnight on this ground where we're